Hello, my friends. Do you ever feel stuck in your business decisions thinking, what is the right choice? Which one am I not going to regret? Which one is going to be the cheapest for me and bring me success the quickest? You are not alone. Every entrepreneur struggles with this. But today I have the framework for making decisions quickly and permanently that you won't regret or second guess. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Bonnie Wiscombe. I am a life coach, a mom to a big family, and a business coach, helping Christian women like you build a business that is successful and helps shine God's light. So here's the thing. Every decision you make in your business comes with two things, both a benefit and a cost. Every decision we make in life is like this. The sooner, however, that you get comfortable weighing those pros and cons, the cost and the benefit, the faster you will grow. This is true in business, it's true in parenting, in running your household, in your 9 to 5 if you have another job. It's true everywhere in life. The quicker you can weigh the pros and cons and make a decision, the faster you will grow, no matter where. Here's the thing though. It's very critical to understand that there is no perfect decision. There is not. It does not exist. They all have a benefit and they all have a cost. The question is, which one is worth it for you? You have the power to choose which price you're willing to pay depending on which decision you choose. And I'm going to walk you through it. Now, too many of us waste a lot of time looking for that right decision or that perfect decision, especially Christian entrepreneurs, because we're used to feeling like there's a moral right choice for everything we do in our life. But in business, that is not the case. If you keep searching for the option with no downsides, with no cons, you're just going to stay stuck forever. You'll stay stuck in indecision and never be able to make progress. In my last video, talking about how we can step into that masculine energy that we need sometimes as women to build our business, I talked about how making decisions quickly and without knowing the full story is a power that sometimes we don't have because we get emotional about our choices. Or again, we think that there's just one right choice, but there's not. Business success requires accepting trade-offs. We have to understand there's going to be a trade-off with every decision, and that's okay. We just decide what trade-off is worth it. So to help you understand this a little bit better, let's talk about assets versus liabilities. Have you heard those words before? When they talk about it in the financial realm, an asset is something that is worth something, right? Like your home or your car or your retirement account. And in this instance, it's a benefit, so something you gain, versus a liability, which might be your mortgage or your car payment or taxes. That's the cost in your business, what you're sacrificing. So the asset is what you gain, the liability is what you sacrifice. Before making any business decision, this is what you have to ask yourself. What do I gain? What is the benefit? What do I give up? What does it cost? And number 3, this is the most important one. Am I willing to pay this price for what I get? Think for a second about when you go shopping for clothes. You might see 2 blouses that you really like. They're both gorgeous. They look great on you. You need a new blouse and you're trying to decide which one. One of them is silk and it is designer and it is gorgeous and it is $350. And the other one is $39, but it's polyester and it's kind of a cheap fabric and you know it's not going to last as long. What's the right decision? Which blouse should you buy? It doesn't matter. You get to decide. Would you rather choose the high-end designer one? It comes with a higher price tag and you probably have to dry clean it, but it lasts forever and it's drop dead gorgeous and you feel like $1 million every time you wear it? Or do you go with the cheaper one that is not going to cost nearly as much up front, but you will probably have to replace it 3 or 4 times and won't feel so great wearing it? Do you see how there is no clear-cut answer? Maybe there is for you. You're more of a luxury girl or you're more of a budget girl. But in the end, you have to decide which benefit is worth which cost. So again, what do I gain? What do I give up? And am I willing to pay this price? Now, this decision-making framework applies to everything in business. It applies to investments. How much am I going to spend on coaching or software or advertising or a new camera or a new computer? It applies to your marketing strategies, to how much you charge for your services or products. It applies to whether or not you want to niche down more or stay kind of broad. It applies to every opportunity that comes across your desk. You have to weigh the pros and cons and decide which cost you're willing to pay for. Now, let me give you a few more examples outside of the business world that might help us understand this a little bit. Think about losing weight. I love this analogy because it's really pretty clear cut. If you choose to lose weight through diet and exercise, there are benefits to that. You get natural results. You learn the good skills of eating right and exercising every day. You have long-term health, might help your longevity. Those are the benefits, right? But the costs are, it requires discipline. It requires time. It requires saying no to ice cream. It requires some delayed gratification because it takes time. So we're looking at those 2. Is that cost worth that benefit? Versus, let's say, using weight loss medication or surgery. The benefit would be faster results, less effort up front, But there is also a cost. It's very expensive. There's possible side effects, even death. There's longer term consequences that could affect your body. So again, what price am I willing to pay? Neither is right or wrong, but each has a cost, and the same is true in business. What about hiring a virtual assistant? If you hire one early on in your business career, the benefit would be frees up time, lets you delegate so you can get more done. It feels professional, kind of injects you with some confidence. You have maybe a freelancer now or an employee, but the cost is it's expensive, costs money that you might not have at the beginning, takes time and energy to train and manage this person. You may not actually really need them yet if you have more time than money. Okay, so cost benefit. Another example would be running paid ads. The benefit would be really quick lead generation. It's done for you. They're bringing leads in for you, just pay money. But again, the cost, it's a financial risk. Am I going to get these leads when I give them the money? You might not be developing the organic skills you need of getting leads. You might waste that money. Okay, so which one do you want? In the end, it all boils down to one very empowering truth. There is no risk-free path. You get to choose yours. The key is to see both sides clearly. Ask yourself once again, what's the benefit? What's the cost? And am I willing to pay it? Make a decision and own that decision, and then move forward knowing that you chose that price. That was the price you were willing to pay. Let me give you a personal example. Earlier this year, I found out that a coach that I'd been following had an amazing group coaching program they were putting out. And I was really interested in it. And I immediately knew it was the right choice for me. It was expensive. It was going to take the entire year, but I knew that the benefits far outweighed the costs that were going to be required of me. And it was an easy yes. Not every decision has been an easy yes like that. One that was a little bit harder for me was growing my YouTube channel. I knew it was going to take time and effort and a lot of sacrifice on my part. And was it going to pay off? Maybe, maybe not. Kind of a bit of a gamble, right? So that was a little bit harder for me. I decided to go for it because it felt like the potential benefits were going to be way higher than the costs. So you get to just decide which cons or costs are you willing to pay for based on the benefit you get. It's especially hard if you don't know if those benefits aren't guaranteed, which is kind of like life in general. None of the benefits are guaranteed. We get to just go on faith. Now, when you own your decisions, you become a true CEO. Here's a spoiler alert. No CEO really knows what they are doing. Maybe the ones that have been working for 30, 40 years in the same position are starting to feel pretty comfortable in what they're doing. But when they start out, they don't know. They just have to take this framework, this decision-making framework, and keep making the decision. But owning those decisions, even if shortly after making the decision, you can tell, oh, this isn't going to pan out as expected. That is what a true CEO does, okay? That's true CEO level thinking. Every decision has a benefit and a cost, and stop looking for that perfect option. It does not exist. Instead, start choosing which price you're willing to pay. That is where the success comes. Okay, so tell me in the comments below, what decision have you been stuck on? Are you asking yourself if you should invest in coaching or new equipment for your business? What else? What is the real price that maybe you're a little bit afraid to pay? I would love to hear it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more real talk about business mindset and strategy. Thanks so much for being here, friends. I'll talk to you next week.